Even though Judge Torres made the right choice, XRP can't fight it. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission's move to end its investigation into Ethereum has given the Ripple XRP lawsuit new dimensions, even though it hasn't been filed yet. At this point, the XRP army is waiting for Judge Torres to make a decision about the penalties and the final decision in the remedies part. The Securities and Exchange Commission is also not sure if it will appeal Judge Torres' summary ruling, which says that XRP is not a security in and of itself. Former SEC employees and lawyers say that the SEC element will not file an appeal against Judge Torres' summary ruling. It's possible that this will weaken the SEC's case in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join our group before we start. This will tell you everything you need to know about XRP. Whether a lawsuit between Ripple and the SEC is currently being watched after the SEC decided to end its probe into Ethereum, it is likely that the SEC will not file an appeal. The XRP case got a lot of press again. There was no need for the Securities and Exchange Commission to send a message to consensus, but they did. Christina Oman, who used to be the chief of crypto enforcement for the Securities and Exchange Commission, has said that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission might not file an appeal against Judge Torres' decision about XRP. This is because the SEC doesn't want to risk taking the Ripple opinion all the way up to the circuit level. It could decide to just leave it there as a district court ruling instead. A ruling from the Second Circuit Court shows that the tokens that were used in the case against Coinbase do not meet the requirements for stocks when they are traded on the secondary market. This is what attorney James Murphy, also known as Metal Woman, believes. It became clearer over time that the Securities and Exchange Commission is treating digital assets in a way that is inconsistent, as Murphy pointed out. He said that Judge Torres was right about XRP and then said that the SEC might not appeal the summary decision. Turdell Derry pointed out several basic problems with the agency's decision by comparing the SEC's contradictory statements at the Coinbase hearing to its position on Ethereum Clio to Ripple. He did this by talking about how the SEC's position on cryptocurrency Clio to Ripple is unclear. People are questioning the SEC's stance on Ethereum transactions and services related to them, like metal masks and mining. Especially in the XPR community, people are worried and don't trust the SEC because of the choice they made. People who are interested in the cryptocurrency market want to know if the fact that Ether has been named a commodity also means that all decision proof-of-stake coins, like Solana, Cardano, and Polygon, are now also considered commodities. The reason for this is that the government has not made it clear how certain digital assets are considered securities. A lot more people are interested in buying XRP now than there were before. This means that more buyers are betting that the price of the cryptocurrency will go up, which is good news for people who are bullish on it. It seems that governing rules aren't always the same, since some aren't and others are. CryptoQuint says that there has been a big rise in the number of people who are interested in XRP. It's a good sign that there are more buy orders because, on average, more buy orders mean the price of the object is going up. A recent court order may have made this stance stronger by making it clear what the legal status of XRP cryptocurrency is. Recently, the SEC filed a complaint against Ripple for selling securities that were not properly registered. This seems to have increased investor trust, which in turn seems to have been increased by the trend in prices. When investors use quantitative methods, on the other hand, they are warned that the market might be volatile. A rise in open interest means that the market is more active, but it also means that instability may rise. A market with a lot of open interest is like a busy intersection. More activity means more chances to make money, but it also means that things can change quickly. This is because new information or changes in how people feel about the market can cause investors to quickly change their positions, so investors need to be careful. People know that the Bitcoin market and the Supreme Court of the United States decisions are notoriously hard to predict. The interpretation debate is still unknown. 21 of XRP's value is expected to rise, and it will hit a high point of 6,002 cents on July 19, 2024. Despite this, figures show that the general mood on the market is still bad and traders are being cautious. At the moment, the fear and greed index is scoring 64, which means that there is a state of greed. This means that market conditions are good and there is a strong desire to buy. Care must have been taken in the 30 days before this, because there were 14 days when the value of X or P went up, which is 47% of the time. In this case, it means that the amount of excitement is moderate during this time. The price volatility has been pretty normal at $37, which is the average for cryptocurrency H, since the SEC chose not to bring any new charges against Ethereum. The ongoing case between Ripple and the Securities and Exchange Commission has become the focus. The SEC has been criticized, but XRP, which is currently trading at $4,998, has seen a small rise of about 1 today. Within the last 24 hours, the price has gone up and down from a low of $4,906 to a high of $52. However, the number of trades has dropped by 25, which could mean that buyers are less interested in the market. Keep a close eye on the levels of support and resistance, which are 4,623.50 and 4,623.50, respectively. The choice that the SEC made is being looked into right now. There is no way for the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to change Judge Torres' ruling that XRP is not a security. As the previous chief of crypto enforcement for the Securities and Exchange Commission, Christina Littman, brought up the possible risks of an appeal, which could make the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission less strong in higher courts. Another thing James Murphy didn't like about the Securities and Exchange Commission was that they didn't always treat digital assets the same way. The matter was explained by Ripple's top legal officer, who is often called the metal lawman. Stuart Alderati, who is the chief legal officer of Ripple, has said that he doesn't like how the Securities and Exchange Commission isn't keeping an eye on things. Clarity is wondering if Solana Cardano and the Polygon will also be classified in ways that were not expected because of this strange event. This is especially true since the investigation into Ethereum Cryptnados was ended. This makes people question how the SEC classifies digital assets. A big win for agreement, even though there are still questions that need to be answered. This, as I doesn't think that Constancy's buying and selling of Ether is the same thing as a securities deal. Does it also not think that Ether itself is a security? What would Gensler say now if you asked him? The information given is not meant to be taken as trade advice. Before making any investment decisions, it is strongly suggested that you do your own study and talk to a trained professional. These people are not responsible for any decisions that are made based on the information they give. The video is over. Thank them for commenting and liking the movie. It makes YouTube work better. Tell a lot of people about this movie to spread the word.